wow, that was awesome.
Totally an incredible experience.
Yeah, now being there, I mean, think about this, a $20 million studio that Eric and Marina Worre built. I mean, 70,000 people tuning in from 100 different countries and just screens everywhere. I mean, to be on that virtual stage was just so exciting. It was so fun. I mean, to touch people in all these different places of the world, being in that one building was pretty cool, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it was like having 70,000 of your closest friends in your living room, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, it was so cool because you got to see their faces and their emotion, and you got to see when they were excited, when they were sad, and when they were listening intently, right? And when they were you could feel what they were going through, or you could see actually when they were having breakthroughs, right? Like that experience, I mean, is once in a lifetime.
Yeah, and I think, what was cool too was, they had 45 different people speak throughout the weekend, ton of thought leaders too, big names. But I just remember them coming off stage and us rubbing shoulders with them, just spending 5-10 minutes with them, getting to know them, pick their brain a little bit. And that was really cool too, to get that information from them, that specialized knowledge that you just typically don't get on a one-on-one basis.
Well, yeah, I mean, what do they say? Proximity is what? Power,
yeah.
Right? And so it's like, who are you? Who's in your ear? Like, who are you listening to? Right? Like, who are you? Choosing to do life with, but also build a business with. Like, who are you around that's pulling you up? That's helping you become the best that you can be.
Yeah.
Right?
Now, my biggest takeaway from the event was this. There's not a better time ever than right now to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I mean, this thing is set up for you no matter what you're doing. I mean, there's so much happening today for the entrepreneur, and there's so much, speed set up with technology, and you can go out there and scale fast, and you can go out there and, take an idea or implement something. And if it's the right model, I mean, you can go really quick right now as an entrepreneur.
Yeah. I mean, I think now more than ever, people know that they need to create their own economy. Like, they know that the government, they know people are not going to be their answer. And so I think now more than ever, people are open. You know what I mean? Like, I was having a conversation with someone today. It's like the days of, people not involved in network marketing and direct sales, that's so far in view. I mean, now it's like, well, what company are you with? Like, right. What are you doing? Right? Like, people are open-minded, where they're like, I don't have a safety net right now. I don't have a plan B. I don't have a multiple stream of income. Like, I need that. Like, what? And a lot of them are digging around out there trying to find something, right? When for most people, it's like, it's right there in front of their face. So I think I'm just so proud to be a network marketer, because I'm like, oh my gosh, I have the opportunity to offer people a lifeline and help people in so many different ways being part of this profession.
Yeah. And what we're going to implement immediately coming out of this event, Sarah and I have heard it and we've done it over the years, but it's just so interesting to hear so many people say, oh my gosh, this was my big breakthrough. This is what I am so excited about, all weekend. It's what's called a 90-day game plan. We're going to be implementing January 3rd, a 90-day game plan for our business.
Yeah, I mean, and I think too, not just implementing it for ourselves, but also for our organization, right? It's I tell people it's one thing for you to do it, but when you have everybody on your team, everyone's marching to the same beat, right? They're playing the same drum, everybody is fully aligned. And I think the 90-day game plan allows people to do that. And I think too, what I'm excited about with the 90-day game plan is that I really believe that anybody can do it, right? And they can work it at different levels, right? Some people are going to be able to implement more time than others, depending on what they have going on in their life with raising kids and working and all that. But I think what the most important thing is that a 90-day game plan allows people to do is to actually get in that rhythm of consistency, where we know consistency is probably the number one challenge that people have in their business is they're hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold, right? And so it's well, if you had something that gave them accountability to make sure to show up every day, no matter how big or how small that is, at the end of those 90 days, my gosh, they're going to have conditioned these work muscles that, quite frankly, they wouldn't have had if they wouldn't have done the 90-day game plan. You know what I mean?
And what this is all about, this is about shocking your business. This is about putting your business into excitement mode, momentum mode, where you have people just going, what is going on over there? What are you doing? Oh my gosh, you have so much going on. I'm hearing all this stuff. And, they can tell you're more committed than you ever been. You're more focused than you ever been. You're, really direct with them. You don't have a lot of time to chat because you have so much going on. You're talking to so many people and having so many conversations through technology that, here's the deal. They're not the only one that you're gonna wait on for weeks or months to make a decision because you got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 more people that day that you're either reaching out to, following up with, or answering questions or getting them to see a bigger picture to get them over the line in your business. But this really creates a business for you that right off the bat can really scale fast. I mean, there's people that start these and they'll do more, in this 90-day game plan a lot of times than they do the rest of the year.
Right.
Because, it's just they take, 6 months of work, that how they would work their business, or 8 months of work, of how they would work their business, and they scrunch it into 90 days, right?
Exactly.
And it's speed. You create something that is fun and is exciting. Now, like Sarah says, we're implementing it with the team as well. So not only are we doing it January 3rd, and a lot of our leaders are doing it, but we're having anybody that wants to raise their hand on the team to do it as well. So we're creating a special Facebook group. Is that right?
Yep. We're going to have a great Facebook group and stuff that we can do together side by side the whole time. We're going to have some challenges inside of there to make it really fun and some incentives to keep people moving. And we're going to have some rewards for them for whoever actually finishes and completes a full 90-day run with us. So, it's going to be a blast. We know that we need to make it fun because we know that it's going to be a lot of work. And so we want to make sure that those guys get rewarded big time for doing it.
Yeah, and you can do cool things, with different prizes for the people that finish, product giveaways, gift giveaways. You want to keep it fun, you want to keep it exciting, and you want to keep it where people are not only working so hard, right, but they're also going, man, I really like this because there's some cool things that are sprinkled in throughout this. And, people like to have fun too, right? People like to get, free gifts or, things that, they can work hard towards and know that, that's there and they could win something like that. So that is everything. I think another lesson we learned in 2021, for our business was there's a phrase called adapt or die.
That's pretty hardcore.
Yeah, it's pretty hardcore, it is. But here is what we know. Like, technology is moving so fast right now. You look at all the social media platforms, you look at all the apps, you look at how everything is just moving at warp speed right now, and it's changing all the time. And I think what you've got to do as an entrepreneur is you got to learn how to adapt on the fly. You got to learn how to take your business and look at what's going on out there and what's working and what's getting speed and scale and creating fast results and see how your business can match that. And what I mean by dying is there are people that I know, there are people I have conversations with, they're like, I'm not changing. What I did 10 years ago, what I did 5 years ago, guess what? I'm doing it today and that's it. And anybody can do whatever they want. But if you don't adapt to the times, and if you don't adapt to technology, and if you don't adapt to the things that are working in the marketplace today, well, your business won't be too attractive, will it?
Yeah, and I think that has a lot to do with, being willing to get out of your comfort zone, right? Because getting out of your comfort zone is a little bit scary. And I tell people, like, just because you've been doing the same thing, like, it doesn't mean, like, you don't change it, right? I know one of our phrases, like, okay, so this might be good, what we're doing, but how can it get better, right? And if you look at, like, any profession out there, right? Whether it be automotive or some type of sales or real estate or whatever, like, everything is progressively always changing. And so in our marketing, like, that's the same thing. Like, it's continuously changing and growing. And so you've got to be willing to, continuously be learning new things and learning new skills and moving forward. And because it's moving. And I wish I could say things weren't moving fast, but things are moving fast.
Yeah.
So I think, especially as a leader, you have to learn how to become flexible and adaptable, right? Those two things are, like, oh my God, huge words that are super important with becoming and being just an extremely effective leader. And so it's that flexibility of being able to pivot and do something new and stay connected with that technology and always be moving forward, right? And the adaptability of like I've got to like be flexible and pivot and adapt and that and you know, like that's not going to change anytime soon.
Right.
Like now more than ever, it's the adapt, pivot. I mean, it's like quick, right? It's moving quicker and quicker. And so I think just have working again, I think you need to be working a muscle
Yep.
that just allows you to, you just got to say yes and do it. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, not so much question it. You just have to be like, I need to do it and figure out how to do it and then start implementing those things.
Yeah, and I think a big question too, I love that, is that a lot of people say, well, you know, how do I adapt and what does that look like? Well, here's the thing I love doing. I like modeling myself and after people that are successful, that have systems, that have scale in their business, that, you know, are moving really fast, that have documentation, that have the stories, that have all the promotions, you know, happening every month, and just have their business spinning. I mean, here's the thing, look at those things. Look at those things and say, how can I adapt some of these things that are working so well, that are creating so many results, that people are getting started, it's got very low skill, they're duplicating, they're scaling. How can I change some of the things that I'm doing towards what they're doing, right? And look at that and model that and find mentors and find people that you respect, that, you know, you love, that have it going on. And if your business isn't the way you like it right now, guess what? You can change it.
Yeah.
You can change it just like that.
Yep.
And it just takes you making that decision and going, okay, I'm adapting. 2022, that might be your word, right? For 2022,
Yeah.
Adapting. But how can you adapt to make your business better? Now, here's another thing that you can do right after this video. And you can start going right at it. We're going to talk about recruiting for, you know, a little bit here, because recruiting is everything in business, right? You know, you're always recruiting, you're always building, you know, you're rebuilding things, you're building things. And you need to do that with people. You need to do that with recruiting. You need to do that with constantly looking for the next person in your business, right? Constantly looking for the next spark in your business, constantly looking for the next new line of business that's going to come your way. And you're always doing that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think, you know, that's probably our biggest thing, like, especially coming out of that event where, again, it's just understanding like there's a massive need in the marketplace for our business. And so we have to be willing to get out there, to have those conversations, to do what I call it, doing the ask, to getting out there, because, you know, there's plenty of people to talk to, but we also know too that, you know, the person that has the most conversations wins at the end of the day, right? So I think, you know, we have to stop and ask ourselves, you know, if we're, you know, quote unquote, we're going into the new year, taking inventory of where we're at, like, how many people have we actually really talked to about our business, right? How many people are in the process? How are we going to change? Like, do we need to do a better job? You know, do we need to change that? Do we need to up it? How are we going to up it? And really make a very conscious decision that, you know what, I'm going to get out there and I'm going to make sure like everyone in my world knows what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They you know, does that, and that's a question you could ask yourself. Like, does absolutely every person in your world, no matter what area, right? Church, community, neighborhood, work, you know, family, whatever, like, do they know what you do?
Mm-hmm.
And for most people, I guess what I'll tell you, no, they don't. Right? I mean, we talk about it like every person's business is so underexposed.
Yeah.
Like, and anyone that tells me it's not, like, I just don't believe them, because I think as human beings, we tend to prejudge, we tend to have these preconceived notions on whether people are going to do the business or not, versus just saying, hey, my job, if I had a job description in my business, is I just need to be the person that shows them what it is. Like, you just need to be the, what I call the professional inviter, and that's it, right? Every day is just getting out there and having those conversations. So, you know, the more you talk to, obviously, down the road, the more people are going to join and build a business with you.
Yeah, I mean, we're in a period right now where I call it the Great Resignation, where you have millions of people every month leaving their jobs.
Oh my God, so many. It's craziness.
It's unbelievable right now. And they're looking for opportunity. They're looking for something new. They're looking for something that can really bless themselves, their families, and the people around them. So, we've got this gift, whatever your business looks like, and how can you get it in front of people as fast as possible? I mean, technology is amazing today. So there's lots of different ways you can do it with that. I mean, you can scale so quickly today, but you've got to be the one that sets it up and goes after it, and don't look at anyone else to do it.
Yeah,
exactly. Don't point the fingers at anybody else. Point the fingers at you, because you've got to lead out. When people see you recruiting, when people see you bringing in new excitement, what I call new blood in the business, right? Guess what? You're looking for the class of 2022. And that right there is going to set, a strong example for the people around you, the people that are running with you, the people that you're building with. Because when they see you doing that, guess what they're going to do? They're going to do the same thing.
Exactly.
Right?
So true.
And they're going to want to put the points on the board, because you're putting the points on the board. They don't want to be left behind. So think about recruiting for a second. Think about, the people that are in your world that maybe you look up to or that you admire on social media, right? How do you start opening up conversations with those people? How do you start messaging them? How do you start giving them value? How do you start, starting a conversation and going back and forth? Because here's what people want in this world today. They want to feel loved. They want to feel special. They want great advice. And they want to know that someone's their friend. You know what I mean? And guess what? If you show up and you have, that in your heart, and you're starting those conversations and you're starting those relationships, what's going to happen is those are going to go a long way for you. And guess what? You're going to find out their goals. You're going to find out their dreams. You're going to find out, maybe what they've been doing this last year, this last couple years, or what they want out of life, or where they want to go and what direction they want to go, this year in 2022. Those are all things you want to listen to, because you have a solution for them. Like, you have an answer for them. You've got something that can change their whole life. And here is the craziest thing. Like, you can change their life, but think about the world they know that you don't know. And by you partnering with them, now they open up a door to a whole new world that you would have never known if you wouldn't have brought them in your business. And then you're working with those people, and they open up a door of a whole new group of people that you wouldn't have known, but now you're in that world, and it keeps going and going and going. And now you're impacting hundreds of people. You're impacting thousands of people. And that's how cool recruiting is. So I know a lot of times people go, well, I recruited a year ago, or I recruited 2-3 years ago for my business. Am I good? Well, not really, because you always got to be recruiting, and you always got to be bringing in people to keep it fresh, right? To keep it exciting, to keep it moving, to keep it running, to keep people looking at that going, man, I got to do it. They're doing it. I got to do it too. Wow. Their business is bigger than ever. Their business is alive. Their business is hot. I want a business like that. So they're going to do what you do as well. So you got this. We know you got this. And here's the thing that we want to do. We want to give you an assignment here. So we want you to actually write out your goals and DM us your goals on Instagram. Your handle?
Sarah Zolecki.
Cool. Sarah Zolecki.
It's an easy one.
Yep. My handle is Tony Zolecki.
Yep.
Make sure you DM us your goals, because we definitely want to see them. We definitely want to celebrate you. We definitely want to love all over you and make sure that we can help you reach those goals in 2022. And then also, if you got some value out of this, share this video to 3 different team members that you work with, so that they can be a part of this, they can get these tips, and they can have the best 2022 ever. So we just want to say thank you. We appreciate, you subscribing and you being a part of what Tony and Sarah are all about. And we can't wait to see your story and celebrate your story in 2022. Take care, everybody.